Good morning, guys. It's a beautiful day out here. One of those really nice October mornings. The rain has been coming down pretty hard all night, but as you can see, the clouds are starting to move out, so I think it's going to be a nice one. So I just wanted to kind of give you a real quick update on my new toy here. Now, you've seen the 2021 Rancher that I picked up last month. Got really lucky to find it because right now it is hard to find these machines. Seems like they're not making these machines very quickly, and when they do get one to a dealership, it's gone within a day or two. So got really lucky on this. Just happened to see this machine the night that the dealership put it on their website. Sent them an email that night. They got it the very next morning, and we did the deal over the phone, and I went and picked it up. And so far I really like it. You know, I'm putting miles on it here and there, but you know, as time goes on, we'll see how it holds up. It's a Honda, so it should be absolutely fine. But it's October, and next thing you know, it's going to be snowing out here, so I picked up a plow for it. You know, you guys who have ATVs and you live in snowy climates, you know these plows are a really nice attachment for your ATV. This one is a Denali plow. I got it from MotoAlliance. MotoAlliance sells plows and plow mounts for just about every ATV and UTV on the market. I would say they're probably one of the more popular vendors to get these from. But anyhow, I just kind of wanted to show you some good things about this and some bad things I noticed. When I put this together the other night, I was kind of in a hurry, so I didn't get much video, but you know, there's not a whole lot to a snow plow, so I can just hit the highlights here real quickly. So, like I said, this is a 50-inch Denali snowplow, and you can kind of see in terms of size where that puts you on this machine. Now, you can get a 60-inch. There are some companies that make 64-inch ones, but I think Denali had the 50, and I think they have, I want to say, a 60-inch, and a lot of guys go with the 60. I just felt like the 60 would be a little bit too big. I mean, sure, the ATV can handle it, you know, and it would work out, but it was just bigger than what I wanted. The one thing about the 60-inch is when you turn the blade, you still get full coverage between, you know, your track width. Whereas with this one, I think it's going to be close, but I still wanted the 50-inch because I just think it's a better size for a smaller class utility ATV like this. And when you pick this plow up with the winch, you can really feel it on that front end. And in fact, when I was backing out in the gravel here in two-wheel drive, it almost didn't want to back out with that weight on the front. So in some situations, four-wheel drive will be a necessity. But anyhow, you get the plow and the push tube and all of the hardware in one box. And then you, of course, have to buy a mount to put on your ATV for the snowplow to mount up to. And that's where my frustration came in, and I'll show you that in just a minute. First, the plow, it put together, you know, it assembled really easily, not a whole lot to it. Basically, the first part is just putting this wear bar on the bottom, and you can see you've got several bolts down there. My advice, and you've heard me say this in lots of my videos, get one of those electric ratchets. Those things are fantastic tools, and when you're doing something like this, an electric ratchet is just really going to speed up that process. So that was the first part. And then you put your hardware on. You know, you got to bolt the plow to the push tube down there by stacking some of those plates, putting your bolts in. You know, you put your springs on, which I need to tighten up a little bit. I mean, mine have some tension on them, even though it looks like they don't. They do have some tension on them, but I'll tighten them up just a little bit more. But yeah, that's the first part, is just connecting the plow to the push tube, because when they box those things up, those two parts are separated for shipping. But that was pretty easy. That took less than a half hour to do that. And like I said, the electric ratchet makes a really big difference. Now, this is a winch operated one. You saw the winch installation that we did on the Rancher several weeks ago. And so the winch obviously just pulls the plow up and down. They do make some additional parts that you can get with a pulley so that it's a little bit easier on your winch cable. Your winch cable won't wear as quickly. You know, as you can see here, I mean, this works, but the winch cable comes out of the winch and almost makes a 90-degree bend to go down to the plow. So it's not really ideal long term. You know, if you're going to use the snow plow frequently, I would recommend getting that pulley system that they sell just to make it a little easier on your winch cable. But it's winch operated, so you'll have to put your winch on before you do this, just FYI. So then we come to, how do you mount the thing to the ATV? Well, they sell what they call a universal ATV mount, and obviously it's designed to fit a lot of different models and, you know, different brands. But then they also have what they call ATV specific mounts, and those are a little bit more money, but the idea, of course, is that they are designed specifically for that ATV, so they fit better, and just, you know, it's a cleaner installation and it just looks better, right? At least that was the idea, I thought. So I paid the extra 50 bucks or 100 bucks, whatever it was, and I got the Honda Rancher specific mount plate. And that part of the installation was not easy, especially on this machine, because these Hondas have a full length plastic skid shield. So the instructions tell you to drop that skid shield, mark where your U-bolts are going to go through it. Then you have to put the plastic skid shield back up there, put the ATV snowplow mount up there. So you're basically making a sandwich, and then you're running your U-bolts through from the top down. Well, it sounds pretty easy, but when you start to do it, you'll see that it is an absolute nightmare. I used just about every tool in my toolbox, spent probably 2 hours doing just that part. You know, I spent 2 hours getting 4 U-bolts through the frame, through the skid shield, where the holes needed to end up being, and then through the mount, and then, you know, putting everything on there. I mean, it's one of those things that's hard to explain, but once you start to try and do it, you realize that you really need an extra set of hands, or you need to be an octopus to be able to do that. It's not really an easy thing to do. In concept, it's not hard, but in actuality, when you try to do it, it becomes pretty difficult. So you can see one of the U-bolts down there. They supply these, of course. They just kind of lay over the frame. And then let me get down low and see if I can show you. Kind of show you what's going on down here. So you can see the ATV specific mount plate for the Rancher here. And what you'll notice here is that I have trimmed off the ends of the U-bolts, because after installation, and I followed all the instructions, by the way, these U-bolts right here, okay, those studs were hanging down really low. And so when you're not using the plow and you're just out recreationally riding, those things would have gotten mangled. It would have been, I mean, just 5 minutes you would have mangled those. So I ended up trimming those off, but hopefully you can kind of see, you know, what I'm talking about there. You have to sandwich everything together and then get those U-bolts. You can see the ones in the front up there, hopefully. You gotta get those to fit through all those holes. And it's kind of like a puzzle game. You'll spend a whole lot of time just trying to get everything lined up and get those U-bolts through the holes. I'm gonna get down here and try to get you a view from the front now. So hopefully it'll turn out okay on the camera, but you can see again how I have trimmed off the ends of those U-bolt studs to try and shorten them up a little bit so they don't hang on obstacles when we're out recreationally riding in the warm weather and we're not using the plow. And eventually what I may do is try to fabricate some kind of a little cover to go over those. Now, a lot of guys said that during the warm months, they take the mount off. Well, I mean, you could do that. You could take the mount off and only put the mount on during the winter. But here's the thing about it. Like I just explained to you, that took 2 hours. I mean, that was a real pain. So the idea of taking it on and off multiple times a year is just an absolute no-go for me. Second thing is, during the winter when it's snowy, I don't always just want to plow with the machine. Sometimes I want to ride it and have fun with it in the wintertime, you know? So for me, it's just a lot better to leave that mount on there so that it's ready to go when I need it. So yeah, I guess I was a little bit disappointed in the ATV specific mount. It didn't work out. So, I mean, it works. Let me rephrase that. It works, but it just wasn't what I expected. You know, for the upcharge, I expected to get something that was going to be easy to install, and I wasn't going to have to do any modification to it. You know, I was just going to be able to bolt it on real quick. It was going to fit like a glove, like it came from the factory that way, you know, and that's not how it was at all. So a little bit disappointed with that ATV specific mount. I wonder how the universal mount would have worked out. I mean, I can't imagine that it would be any worse than this. So maybe in hindsight, if I did it over again, I would just get one of those mounts and try it out, you know. But anyway, it is what it is. Having said all that, I do like the Plow so far. It's got some adjustability. It seems to be made pretty well, pretty rugged, and I think it's going to be a fantastic tool. Now, I've had a couple of ATVs in the past that I had snow plows on, and they were great. Even when we lived up in town, we used to live up in town in a subdivision, and you know, when it snowed in the winter time, a lot of those folks, especially the older folks, they didn't want to get out there with a snow shovel and you know, shovel their driveways and sidewalks. So with the narrower width on the blade, I think I had a 48-inch on those. I was able to just drive right down the sidewalks with the ATV, push the snow off to the side. Some of them even, you know, would say, hey, can you come over here and plow my driveway real quick? And they would, you know, slip me a $20 bill or something, which I didn't ask for, but hey, you know, it pays for the gas money. So, you know, a plow on your ATV is super handy. Now out here where we live, you know, I've got a lot of gravel, so I probably won't use it out here. But we do have some concrete over there in front of the garage, and we've got that entrance down there that you've seen me plowing with the tractor. This year, if it's a lighter snow, I may experiment with this and see if this will do a little bit quicker job than the tractor. Tractor does a great job on it, but it's kind of slow. I'm just kind of curious, you know, will this do it faster? We'll see. But nice little setup here from Denali, and the price wasn't too bad on this either. I've seen a lot of these go for $600, you know, between $500 and $600 for a complete setup, and I think I've got around $400 invested in this, maybe a little less. So not too bad price-wise either. You know, to me, it's just hard to believe that it's already October. The leaves are starting to turn colors out here already. Trees will be bare pretty soon. Mowing is almost over with for the season. And the next thing you know, we're gonna be pushing snow instead of cutting grass. So it's time to switch around and do some different things for a few months here. But you know, I'm fortunate to have some equipment to do it with. We got the snow plow on the ATV. We still have the New Holland back there that we can push snow with or move trees when they fall or whatever we need to do. And so I guess at this point, we're gonna finish up the year getting ready for work because basically in the fall and in the winter time, it seems like there's still work to do around here. It's just a different kind of work. So anyway, Denali ATV snowplow. If you guys got any questions about it, shoot them down below. The next thing I'm going to try and experiment with is those electric chainsaws, specifically the cordless battery powered chainsaws. I've been really looking at those lately. I've got some honeysuckle brush and some trees I need to cut. You know, we've got a good gas powered steel chainsaw, but it's kind of a pain keeping up with the, you know, the mixed fuel, and you know, trying to get the thing started is a pain sometimes. And you know, I've kind of been eyeballing those battery powered chainsaws because it looks like they are pretty nice. You know, at least certain brands make pretty good ones. So I'm doing some research on those, and I may try one of those out, and I'll be sure to show it to you if I pick one up pretty soon. But for now, I'm gonna get back in here and get some more things caught up. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you later.